Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Once again, welcome to World Broadcast News. Your boy Tony Vicali. Welcome to the camera show. Okay, this is as you can see in my virtual background. We've got a lot of cameras in the background. The cameras that we are using. This is the retro. We call it the retro bro office. Okay, broadcasting office, whatever you want to call it. This is the retro broadcasting office. I wanted to show a lot of old cameras. We got some old, some new. Okay, so when you look in the background here, you're going to see we got the red cameras and stuff. A couple of the red cameras. We got the Panasonic WV V3. It's an old tube camera. Came out in 1986. And then we got the JVC GRC1. That one came out in 1984, between 84 and 85, preferably 84. And that was used in the Back to the Future movie, Back to the Future. Okay, Marty McFly, Michael J. Fox, Marty McFly, Michael J. Fox. You guys know what I'm talking about. 1984 to 1985, that camera came out. That's the JVC GRC1. Now that camera is a very, very hard camera to find right now. I'm not gonna say it's a hard camera to find, but with price gouging, with the big pandemic, with all the things that we're going through right now, people have got greedy, got very, very greedy. And that camera is selling for $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $900. Ridiculous. Now, what I want to talk about is I had three of those cameras back in, we'll say 2014, 2015. I know I acquired a lot of them through eBay, and I had three of them. I paid $90 a piece for them. Okay, at that time, very, very easy to get, I guess. Maybe not. Maybe I paid $90 a piece for them. So that's basically $300 for three cameras. I got them for my collection. They were sitting on top of I had a plasma TV. I'll probably post some of that video. Had a plasma TV. They were sitting on top of the plasma TV. Never really used them. They were just part of the collection. If you're a collector and you want that camera, great. You want to spend $300, $400, $500, $600? Great. It's available on eBay. My situation, I financially don't have the money to do that. Not even the $90 for cameras. Kind of out of my price range, but based on my situation, for people that don't know my situation, I'm basically right now taking care of my mom, not really working right now, don't have no income coming in. It's been very, very hard this last year, and you know, I get a couple dollars every now and then. That's why I tell you guys, if you want to contribute, and that's why I've been doing videos lately, because you know, it takes money, it takes time, it takes money, it takes a lot of different things to do things. And if you do want to contribute, you can contribute. It's my Cash App is $Tony McDew, $Tony McDew, $Tony McDew. I'm going to leave that in the bottom here. I think we're going to leave that in the bottom. So if anybody wants to contribute, you just go to Cash App and put in $Tony McDew, TonyMcDew, and you can contribute, and that will help me out with some of my projects and finances and whatever. So at this particular time, we're talking about the camera office. I put lots of cameras right, as you can see in the background. These cameras are retro cameras. We're going to talk about them. I'm going to go over these cameras in depth. Some of them I have, some of them I don't have. I'll be showing the cameras. I wanted to show them as I was creating this video, but I don't have the space, I don't have the room, and I don't have all the cameras. I got a couple cameras coming in that I got off of eBay, pretty cheap, and I'm just waiting for those to come in. And the ones I do have right now, I will tell you about the Sony Trinitcon. That's the black one, and the first one on the top shelf. That one I do have. I do have the beta BMC, the BMC 110. Trying to remember these numbers. The BMC 110, which is the first beta camera, came out. The first Sony beta camera that came out in 1983, and that camera was the first camcorder, supposedly. You guys do your research on that. The first camcorder. And I'm going to give you guys a little information on this. It's right on the top shelf. The second camera, I believe, on the top shelf. And it's a Sony BMC 110. Okay, that's the model number. Very hard camera to get. You might be able to find it on eBay. It's kind of expensive, though. I got it pretty cheap. I got it for like 20, 30 bucks. So I have that camera. And then I also have the BMC, the next model that came out right after that. That one came out in 1984. That one is the BMC 220, and that one had autofocus. Wow. Now, talking about both of these cameras, they're identical except for the autofocus. 1983, they came out with the first camcorder ever invented. Now, we'll talk about this camcorder. You could not rewind the tape. You could not play back the tape. You could only record. It was only a record button on there. Record, whatever. That's all you could do. And it's a tube camera. So it didn't have solid state. It wasn't solid state electronics at the time. It was a tube, whatever they call it, the Satacon tube or whatever. Satacon or Venacon tube that was in there. Okay? You guys do the research on that if you want to get even deeper. It was a tube camera, not solid state electronics. It didn't have no solid state sensors or nothing like what we have nowadays. So Sony came out with that, and then right after that, other companies followed and tried to come out with their camcorder versions, and they did great. They did a really great job. You got JVC came out with theirs. You got Akaya, I call it Akaya. They came out with theirs. All these different brands came out. Zenith, they came out with theirs, and we're going to talk about that. So that camera could not rewind tape, could not play back tape. You had to take the tape out, put it into a special VCR or beta VCR at the time, and you could play it back on your beta VCR. Okay, and it could only record for like 20 or 30 minutes. It couldn't record that long. I think it was 20 minutes. Do the research on that. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they came out with the first camcorder. That was beta. Now, supposedly, do your research. I had another recorder called Fune. I recorded with that. I had that camera back in like 1980 something. I think it came out in 1981, and it was recording in black and white. And it was it was recording in black and white. It wasn't a full camcorder. Okay, scratch that. We're talking about camcorders. So that was the first camcorder, all-in-one camera. That's what we're talking about. Now JVC did come out with a bridge where you could put the deck on the back, you could put the VCR on the back, and you could put the camera on the front. And they say that they came out with the first camcorder too. It was kind of a Mickey Mouse type job, and I forgot what year that was. It was probably around the same time. So they're competing with the Sony, trying to say they came out with the first camcorder, but it was really the VCR attached with a special adapter in the middle, and then they had their camera. So they were using their camera, and you could put any VCR in the back. It was kind of tacky, but I don't have that camera. I'm going to try to get that camera and try to put it on the shelf if it's not already on the shelf already. So by the time I make this video and do my editing, we'll see. I might be able to put it on the shelf. It's a JVC hybrid type system. You know, you could put any VCR on the back, whether it was VHS-C, whether it was 8mm, whether it was VHS. You could put different backs on the back, but you had this adapter that was in the middle. So do the research on that. But as far as I know, Sony came out with the first camcorder, 1983. Remember that. That was the BMC 110. The BMC 110 from Sony. And I have that one on the shelf. And I have that one in person. Okay. Now going back to this video that we're making right now. This is called, once again, the Retro Office. If you look all the way to the end, is it the right or left? I get mixed up on when I do these videos sometimes. But I believe it's all the way to your right. You'll see the the latest camera that they came out with, which is the I can't remember the number now. That's bad. But anyway, it's the latest camcorder that they came out with in high definition 4K, blah blah blah. I don't have that camera. You know, it's like kind of like my dream camera, if you want to call it that. So that camera is like $20,000, okay, and it's a broadcast camera, ENG, which stands for Electronic News Gathering. Most people that have that camera are going to be like news stations and things like that. So that camera is all the way on the end, and I just wanted to kind of show some progression here. So if you look all the way to your left, you'll see once again the Trinitcon. And I forgot the model number. I think it's a 2200, the H something 2200. Do the research on that. I don't feel like looking it up. I might put the title in as I'm talking about it. But you'll see the Trinitcon right there. That's the first camera starting off at the top shelf. That's the Sony. And then from there we go down the line, and you'll see all those are Sony cameras at the top. We go from the Sony beta cameras all the way from the first beta camera from 1983. The Sony Trinitcon came out in 1981, and that is the black camera, the first camera you see. That is just a tube camera, same type of tube, the Venacon tube, Satacon tube, whatever kind of tubes they used back in that day. Wasn't solid state electronics, and you had to hook it up to a VCR. So that was considered the first beta camera, I guess you want to call it. That came out in 1981. I ain't gonna say the first camera, but that one came out in 1981. Sony did make other cameras before that were video cameras that connected to a VCR, but I like to start off with that one. And the reason I like to use the 1981, it has a symbolic part of history in my life, because that was the year I graduated, 1981. So 1981, as a student, that's the camera that I possibly would have been using brand new, if it was brand new at that particular time. And I did not have that camera at that time. So I'm kind of going back in history and kind of doing some kind of reminiscing and going, man, if I was in 1981, this is the camera I would have had, and I would have been happy with it. It would have been brand new, and it would have been called the Sony Trinitcon, not Trinitron like the TV sets, but Trinitcon. Okay. So we start off with the Trinitcon, and I forgot the exact model number on it, but it's a 2200. They had a 2200, they had a 3000 or a 3200, they had a couple other ones. That's the 2200, the H something 2200. And then we go into of course, the first beta camera, which is the beta cam, the BMC 110, and then the 210. And then we're going to talk about, are you ready? The super beta. Wow. The super beta came out, I believe that one was 1986. Correct me if I'm wrong. 1986. And that was the super beta. And the super beta had, oh, you know what it had? It had super beta capability. It had higher resolution. That was the BMC 660. Okay. They had a 550 before that. I didn't get the 550. I don't have the 550. Sorry. 550 is kind of in between. It had higher resolution too, I believe. But the super beta was the one that everybody wanted. Wow, the super beta. Super beta had higher resolution. I don't remember the lines of resolution that it had. Do the research on that if you wanted more information. Some of this information is hard to find right now, to be honest with you. And I wanted to give you all this information in a concise thing, but look it up if you're that interested in it. The BMC 660 super beta. And as far as I remember from my research, it still did not have the capability to rewind tape or playback tape yet, even with the super beta. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we're in 1986 now. We still can't rewind a tape. We can't do nothing. We can't rewind the tape. We can't play back. And I actually have the super beta coming in. I don't have the super beta right now, so I'll be able to tell you a little bit more about it when I get it. I got it coming in on eBay. I actually found it really cheap. I don't know how I found it. I just found it, and I got it for like 30 bucks, and that's the cheapest I could find it. Everybody's trying to sell the super beta for like 70, 80, 100 bucks. Okay. So I got the super beta, and I got a leather case that went around it. It had like a leather case that went around the super beta to protect it. So we're gonna see how that works when I get it. I should be getting that in the next day or two. So the super beta did not have the capability to rewind it or play back your tapes. It just had higher resolution, probably had the autofocus and everything as well, and it was called the super beta. And that thing probably cost around $2,000 at the time or more. These other cameras, once again, they were the first camcorders too, so they were up there pricey, probably around a couple $1,000 too, when they started off as well. So yeah, do the research on that and check it out. Then we start to move into, those were all I'm about to say VHS. Those were all beta cameras we're talking about, Sony beta cameras. To follow that, other companies decided that, we don't know if beta is going to be the top thing here. Beta is, higher, superior quality and so forth, but the recording time is really sucking. We're getting 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That's not good. VHS decided they came out with VHS. I think it was JVC that came out with the Vhs camcorders at the time, and they came out with like 6-hour recording time. 2 hour, 3 hour, 6 hour. You remember the different speeds, LP and EP, extended play. So VHS eventually took over, and then all these VHS camcorders started to emerge. We're talking around 1986, and that's when I got my camcorder. My first camcorder, the Quasar. I don't know if we put it on the shelf. We didn't put it on the shelf. If we didn't, we'll put it on the shelf now. The Quasar camcorder came out in 1986, and that was the one that I started off with. And I believe that was the VM21. I went and looked at it a little bit. The model was the VM21 Quasar. I bought it for $1,500, and I made payments on it. Yes, I didn't have a lot of money back in 1986, so I made payments on it. I was still working at Burger King back in 1986, I think, or somewhere around there. So I made payments on this thing, and I was working at Thrifty Photo Lab out here in Sacramento. And I made payments on this camera, and it was a great camera. I did a lot of videos with it. Unfortunately, I don't have the footage anymore from that camera. I lost all the tapes I had in the storage, and it's so sad. But I had a lot of fun with that camera. That was my first camcorder, and I had cameras, video cameras before that connected to different decks. And like I said, the Fune was like my first one. It was black and white. It connected to a deck. I don't even know where I got that. I think I got it at a thrift store. It's really hard to find that camera right now. I was trying to find another one of those, or find that setup. I would like to show it to you. Maybe I'll show it to you in a screen capture. The Fune. I think I'll just pop it up like this. Yeah, the Fune camera, and it's actual pack. That is a very hard and very rare one to find. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was made in China or made in Japan, and it was made in a factory. It was made in the what they call it, Japan Company, Victor Company of Japan, which really stands for JVC. JVC. A lot of people don't know that. So, Victor Company of Japan. We're very weird. That's the name. That's what they named the factory. Some of the cameras actually have Victor on them. And right to follow that, we go into the Back to the Future camera, the Marty McFly, the red camera, the one that everybody's been trying to get for $300, $400, $500, $600, $1,000. That camera was made in that factory, the Victor Company of America, or Victor Company of Japan. Victor Company of Japan. That company made the JVC camera that Marty McFly uses, the red camera everybody likes, the Rca, and it's also been copied. I'm not gonna say it's copied. It's the same camera. Zenith makes the same camera. They call it the VM6000. How do I know all these numbers? I did my research a little bit. The VM6000 is the same exact camera as the Marty McFly camera, as the JVC Rca. The red camera is the same exact camera, only it's not red. It's silver and black. And guess what? I have it. I'm very happy to say I have that camera. I don't think we put it on the shelf. We're going to put it on the shelf, I think. I don't know. But that camera is the same camera. And a lot of people don't know that. I found it at a thrift store. I'm keeping it real. I found it at a thrift store. Not only did I find it at a thrift store one time, but I found it at a thrift store 2 times. So I have 2. Not only did I find it at a thrift store 2 times, but then I found it on eBay for the 3rd time, and I got 3 of them. Just like I had 3 Rc1s back in 2014-15, the Marty McFly, the red camera. Now I have 3 silver cameras. Why 3? I don't know. Just happened to get them. Good deal. Happy to get them. Very happy. Collectibles. I got 2 of the original cases that they came in. One of them I didn't get a case, and they're going to be in my collection on the shelf one day. Not this virtual shelf that you see. So, people are collecting these cameras because they have some memories of this type of, the movies, the nostalgic type thing, whatever. I collect them because I want to play around with them. I want to modify them a little bit. I don't want to destroy them. I want to modify them. I want to maybe work around them. I maybe take the lenses off. I might add this and add that and change this and change that. Make them high definition. Just have fun with them. That's my purpose. Not a collectible person that's put them on the shelf and just look at them and go like, wow, I got that one. I finally got it. I used to do that. But I've always been the kind of person that always wanted to think about the next level of taking it to the next level, being able to add a high definition sensor, because these things were Satacon tubes, Satacon, Vinicon, and then there was another one called Pedicon or something like that. Pedicon? Sounds bad, but yeah. So these were 2 cameras that will later on change to solid state. Do your research, and you'll know which ones were solid state. You'll know which ones were tube cameras. And it didn't matter to me back then whether it was tube or solid state. I was happy to do video. We're talking about in the 80s, okay? So I started doing my videos around 78, 79. I had these big tube cameras walking around, the RCA. I got the RCA tube camera. I got another tube camera. I got a Panasonic tube camera. It's the HD 5000. I got that one not too long ago. Yeah, we put it on the shelf. We did put that one on the shelf. You'll see it over to your right, I believe. And we got the, of course, once again, the red camera, the other red camera. That's like my favorite one. That's the Panasonic WV V3. And I got that one in the 90s. I got that camera in the 90s. That one came out in 1986 as well. I wish I would have got it in 1986. I would have been the happiest man in the world. But I got that one in I think I got it in 1993 instead of and I remember purchasing it because I bought it in a case and everything. I bought it at the Niles Roseville Farmers Auction. You guys know where that is in Sacramento. I bought it at the auction. I paid 150 bucks for it. And I used to have it on like one of those telescope type tripods all the time. I used to carry a telescope tripod. It was real thick. I remember that. I got that from my buddy Greg Turner. I bought that from him for like, I forgot, 25, 30 bucks. Man, I think I paid $50 for that tripod. And it was a heavy duty tripod, and I used to put my camera on there, and then you had to connect that camera, Panasonic WV V3, the red camera that you see over on my right hand side, I believe. That camera, you had to connect it to a VCR, and I happened to get a Panasonic VCR later on. I connected it to, I think it was a 7400. It was a Panasonic AG 7400, something like that, and that was a very expensive deck that I had. Back then, those decks were going for a lot of money. I got it for like 200 bucks back then, but there were even more than that. I got it used. Got it on Craigslist back then. So I have a history of some of these cameras, and I'm not trying to collect every camera I've ever had. I do have a collection of cameras I've never had before. I got a collection of cameras that I've never seen before. I got the JVC sitting right in front of me right now, the JVC X1, which you actually see on the shelf. It's got a longer number, but I just call it the X1. The JVC X1. It looks like the Back to the Future camera with the side, the tape going sideways, up, horizontal or vertical, vertical, and it's on the shelf. Okay, the JVC X1, you see it. It's on the professional side. We got the professional side over here, and then we got the amateur side, or I should say prosumer. We got the prosumer, and then we got the professional ENG cameras kind of grouped together, and that is the JVC X1. I love it. I'm looking at it right now. I got that camera. I got it cheap. I'm very happy with it, and I'm going to modify it. My goal is to modify it, so I'm looking for a different camera to put on there. I actually have a little small HD camera on there right now. We're filming with this camera. We're filming with this JVC X1 right now, but I got it attached to the top in the hot shoe, and I want to modify the camera into the lens somehow. So that's my goal with a lot of these cameras. The ENG cameras, we talk about those, the electronic news gathering cameras, the professional cameras that you see, the big Sony up there on the top hand shelf. We got the Panasonic DV camera, DVC, that's the DVC 200, I believe. We just got that one in. We do have that camera. And then we have another Panasonic. We got the Panasonic Reporter coming in. That is a prosumer camera that was made out of plastic. Everybody wanted that camera back in the day. It was like $2,000 or $3,000. It's about $2,000 back then. The plastic, the Reporter camera. I got the 455 camera coming in. It's the 455, the AG 455 coming in. Don't have it yet. That should be here a couple days. And then we got the I got so many cameras. This is fun. This is camera day. So this is I don't want to bore you guys a lot about the specifications of these cameras and things like that, and which was the best camera at the time. But what I wanted, the whole thing about about this video is about cameras came out and everyone was competing just as they are now. That's what this video is all about. Back then there was a revolution of who had the best, who had the highest resolution, who had the most features. You had JVC, you had Panasonic, you had Zenith, you had all these different Magnavox. I can go on and with these crazy names that you probably never even heard of. Okay, Sears even came out with their own camera. Sears, Montgomery Wards, they had their own cameras, their own camcorders. And I'm not trying to collect every camera that's out there. I did collect the cameras that do have the major brands. And you guys have heard of JVC, you heard of Sony, you heard of Canon. Canon has one too. We put it on the shelf, I believe. Yeah, the Canavision, and that's the Canavision 708. I got the Canavision 708, and I got the EM1 or something like that. You guys do the research on that. They came out with their first camcorders, and they were like 8 millimeter. We're going to talk about that. So a lot of the cameras were VHS-C. They started off the camcorder. First it was Beta. Beta had their own format. They said that's not going to work out. Other companies started to switch over to VHS-C because VHS-C was a compact cassette that actually went into an adapter that could still be played in your VCR at your house. And the other beauty of the VHS-C is that you could also play it back in your camcorder. Okay, pretty nice. I think the limitation on those were you gotta maybe a little bit more recording time. I'm not sure. I gotta go back and check, but you could play it back on the camera. Okay, so JVC, the GRC1, the red camera that Marty McFly talking about, they talking about this is like a studio, a miniature studio. Doc Brown was talking about that. You guys heard about it. If you watched the movie Back to the Future, uh, that camera became so popular in 1984, 1985. Everybody wanted it, and they bought it. And the people that want to collect it now, they're trying to get it for $200, $300, $400, $500, $700. They want to have it in their collection. So I wanted to have it too, to be honest with you, when I made this video, but I didn't have it. So what I did is I made a virtual camera of it, and it's sitting on the shelf. So you see it. You see the red camera. That's the GRC1, and that is to the left of me, I believe. And yeah, from left to right, yeah, that should be left of me, I believe. Anyway, GRC1, the red camera Marty McFly have. I couldn't get it, so I got the Zenith, and the Zenith is the same exact camera. My uh, that's what I wanted to say basically. So sometimes you can't get what you want, but you can get something that's similar. So the Zenith, I got it cheap. I got it for like $30, and I was like, yeah, bam. Then I ended up getting another one. I said, okay, cool, bam. Then I ended up getting another one. I said, okay, bam. So I got 3 Zeniths, and they're the same exact camera. Now, do they work? Who cares? When you're a collector, you just want it. You want to put it on the shelf. It's great if it works, but the resolution was not to be. We're not going to be trying to shoot video with that anymore. Everybody wants a high definition, at least 1080p. And I tell you, if you're shooting in 1080p or you're shooting in 720p, you're going to be okay. You don't have to have 4K either. Everybody wants 4K right now. You don't have to have 4K. So I talk about this. My boy Marcus Picks, he talks about this all the time from Germany or whatever. He talks about the same thing. You don't have to have 4K. He shot some of his major movies and his films, and he's very creative. He shot a lot of stuff with camcorders, cheap camcorders back then, and you can do that now. I shoot a lot of my videos with camcorders. I shoot a lot of my videos with action cameras. I shoot them with anything that is decent. I think I'm not going to go into my cameras right now, but I will tell you this. The JVC GRC1 Marty McFly camera from Back to the Future, going back to that again, I have it, but it's not named that. It's called the VM 6000 by Zenith. Same exact camera. Okay? Got 3 of them. Just wanted to point that out to you. Not only that, during that same time, Acaia came out with their version. And they came out with theirs, and I forgot the model number, but it's on the shelf. You'll see it. It's the blue camera. The camera that's the blue camera, that is Acaia's version of the Marty McFly GRC C1 camera. They came out with their version. And they came out with different versions. Everybody started coming out with different versions. That was very similar to that because they wanted to be able to play back tape. That's the main concept. Unlike the Beta 110, you couldn't play back. Unlike the Beta 210 and the Beta 550 and the Beta 650, you could not play back any tapes on any of those cameras. But Sony did start the revolution for having the first camcorder, the first all-in-one tape-based recording system. Great that they did that. That was nice. Other companies copied and decided to build their own models. Once again, JVC, Magnavox, all these different companies came out with their own. VHS took over the market, and VHS, with being able to put a full-size VHS tape in and play and go out there and do what you need to do, and then go home and just pop it in your VCR, that was the way to do it. And to have playback capability, rewind, and all the other features. So VHS camcorders became popular all around the world at that point. We're talking about in the 80, from probably 85 on up. So I have an earlier Quasar camcorder, and I think that was the VM11. I actually have that one too, and I just decided to get 2 Quasar cameras because that's just part of my history, my life, and that one had less features. I'm sure I haven't went into all the details, but that one had less features, and I'll be showing that one probably in one of my other videos. So I got the VM11 and I got the VM21. I'm not going to buy no more Quasar cameras. I'm not really interested in that. I just wanted to show you guys what a Quasar camera looked like. And There's Magnavox out there, there's Sylvania, there's Sears, there's Montgomery Wards, there's all kind of brands that came out after that. I got RCA. I forgot about that. I got two RCA cameras. We talk about that. I think I got one of them. Yeah, I got one of them sitting on the desk over here. You'll see one of them sitting on the desk. That is a Super Vhs Camcorder. I did purchase that one, and that one was I didn't. Yeah, I do have that one. I just got that one recently, but that camera I didn't have it back then. I wish I would have had it back then. That camera would have cost a lot of money, probably like $2,500. But it's RCA Super VHS camcorder. It was a high-end camcorder for RCA. And then I also have, and that was the CPR, I believe, the CPR 350, and then there's the CPR 300. I have the 300 too. The 300 is a white camcorder, and then the 350 is a silver-based camcorder, and that's the Super VHS. Wow. Okay, so all these cameras were competing. That's what this video is all about. They were competing back then, and they're competing now. I don't even want to talk about all the new models that are out there right now. You got the Red camera, you got the Canon cameras, and the Sony cameras, and the mirrorless cameras, and the Sony A1, and the new FX3. I think the new FX3 made by Sony. Is it Sony? Yeah, there's so many cameras, and that's the cinema camera now. The new FX3. Everybody wants that. It's like $3,000. So, do you really need it? That's what this video is all about. Do you really need a $3,000 camera to make a YouTube video? Are you making movies right now? Are you creating movies? Are you making cinema movies? And do you still really need that? It's up to you. It's up to your pocketbook. It's up to your budget. Ask me if I need it. I don't need it. I'm cool. I just shoot with 1080p. You know, a lot of times I make my videos with my phone. A lot of people make their videos with their phone. Their phone shoots 1080p. Some phones shoot 4K. If you have an iPhone, you can shoot in 4K. So, do you really need it? Think about that. That's what this video is all about. My camera, my retro camera collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you like my retro shelving that I created back here with the cameras and everything. And I hope you guys like that. I hope you guys like the information that I'm providing. If you do, please subscribe. I guess I usually used to say that, but please subscribe. Please support the channel, World Broadcast News. HBTV channel 63, please support that. And you can also donate. You can donate. We have Cash App, which is Cash App $ Tony McDew, $ Tony McDew. You can Cash App me, and that will help me support my channel and my projects. I like to get more cameras. I like to I've actually slowed down on some of the cameras. I said I don't need any more cameras right now. I got a bunch of cameras, a bunch of used cameras and stuff. I'm going to start showing you guys the cameras. I wanted to get into more of the modifications. So if you guys can definitely support me on that, I would like to take like a GoPro. I don't have a GoPro. I used to have a GoPro. I want to buy a GoPro, and it doesn't have to be a brand new one or anything. I could get a used one, you know, GoPro 5. I don't need a GoPro 9 or GoPro 10 or whatever's coming out. I'd like to get a GoPro. If anybody wants to donate a GoPro, let me know. You can donate that as well. I'd like to get a GoPro. I'd like to get something that has pretty good image capability and be able to modify it into my electronic news gathering cameras, and also modify it into my camcorders, my old camcorders, my Quasar camcorder, for instance. I want to be able to take the Quasar camcorder out and have a different sensor in there, electronic sensor. So I'm kind of experimenting with that right now, and I can do it. I've actually done it. I did it with my RCA camera. I put a different camera. I kind of modified on there, and it's a great idea. It's just fun. Especially during this time that we're in, during the pandemic, the big quarantine time, and you can't do a lot of stuff. You know, I can do this at home. I can play around with these cameras. I actually have my camera right here. My I don't want to get out of the shot though. My Canon camera. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna get out the shot anyway. So just bear with me. I might have to do a little edit cut on this. Okay. So this is, yeah, let's show this. This is my Canon Vision 8. My Canon Vision 8. And for the modification, this is what we wanted to show you. For the modification, this is what I did. You flip it around, and you see a little small Canon camcorder on there. That's the Canon 800, HFR 800, I think, something like that. Very good camcorder. I have used it a lot. Got it really cheap. Got it on eBay. So little things like this. This helps me, you know, with my channel, and it helps me with my hobbies. And like I said, if you want to contribute, you know, getting stuff like this I love it. So this is a digital camcorder, the E708. Look at it from this side. This side looks better. And imagine me taking this thing out. And I will be taking this out. I will be doing videos with this in the next couple weeks. And you just flip out the little camcorder right here. Oh, got it sticky there. You flip it out. You heard it come on. And now I'm able to actually shoot 1080p video. This is more kind of a prop. But look at that. You can see the screen's on. You can see me. And isn't that cool? Okay. So I'm taking an old camcorder. And this camcorder came out in 1988. This is wow. This is really upgraded. Okay, they upgraded a lot. This one had the ability to record, play back your tapes, do everything. The format was video 8. It was digital. I think probably cost, this camera probably cost at least $1,000 or $2,000 at that particular time. And it was a great camcorder to have. And I was so happy to get it on eBay. I actually got it with the case, and I got it with the batteries and everything. And I think the batteries are no good anymore. The batteries don't work, but who cares? I'm going to unscrew it right now off of this little light stand. I put most of my cameras on light stands now because it's just easier. But it has the strap here. Strap is in good condition. Says Canavision. Has the lens cap. The lens cap says Canon. And this is Canavision. Canavision. Like I said before, there's a lot of guys that are buying these camcorders, and they want Canon. Canon made this one. Canon eventually made smaller camcorders, of course, but I like the full-size camcorder. This was Canon's full-size camcorder back then, and I have the beige-colored one that they have, which is the EM1 or whatever it is, EM1, EM3 or whatever. I have that one sitting over there somewhere, and we'll talk about that. But this was Canon. So what I try to do is I put Canon with Canon. This is Canon. This is the old camera, and then you can see we went down to something this small right here. This is Canon camcorder from like a couple years back, the 800, which is a great camera. I kind of got it double taped on there, and when I get ready to film, I just pop out the viewfinder like this, and I'm ready to go. I can look through my LCD, I can film. So I've kind of upgraded this. That's what I wanted to kind of show. You know, people wonder, how can you upgrade something like this without destroying it? So I could have took it apart and put a sensor in here and did all kinds of other stuff. And I'm not saying I won't do that. I will do that probably if I have another camera to spare. I don't want to, destroy. I never got into destroying electronics and things like that. So I don't want to destroy something that's built really well. This camera was really built very well, very heavy. The battery's back here. This is the battery. The battery's heavier than your cell phone. And the thing's really heavy now compared to cameras of today. So all that technology that was in this camera bag now, where you could play back your tapes, you could do all these different things. You can do the same thing on this little small camcorder right here. And I have like several of these small camcorders. Not Canon though. I've got 2 more Sonys. I bought the $5 Sony camcorder. You guys seen that? I bought the $5 Sony camcorder a while back. And so that's what this video is all about. It's about taking something old, something new, and just kind of not something blue. You don't necessarily need something blue. That's when you get married, right? Something old, something new, something old, something new, and something blue. That's what they say. This is about taking about something old and something new, combining it, having some fun with it, and that's what my videos are about right now. I'm just kind of doing that during the quarantine, during the pandemic. What do we do? We're trying to keep our lives, trying to stay focused, and we're trying not to stress on different things. So that's just one of the things that takes a lot of stress from me. So once again, if you want to help, you want to help out, you want to support, you want to donate, you can definitely do that. You can go to Cash App, $, Tony McDew, Cash App, $, Tony McDew, and that helps me do these little projects and get these little cheap cameras. Sometimes I can get them really cheap for like $5. Sometimes I get them for $10. Sometimes I get them for $20. So whatever you can donate to help out on that project, thank you so much, because I don't have a major income coming in. If I was working right now doing the AV type thing like I used to do, which most of my guys are now on unemployment or laid off and that type of thing, you know, it's rough. So whatever you can help out, let me know. But that's what I do. I work with these camcorders. I play around with this stuff, and I'm going to continue to have fun with these camcorders, and they're so interesting to me because I grew up in a time where these were a lot of money. I grew up when this was $2,000 probably for something like this, and I couldn't afford it. You know, back in the day, I was making $3.35 an hour. I made $3.35 an hour my first job. Or was it 3.15? It was 3.15. It was it 3.35? I can't remember. 3.35, 3.15 an hour. I think it was 3.35. 3.35 an hour at McDonald's. That was like my first job. And then I went to Burger King later on and stuff. And wow, I made it up to manager. I moved up to manager, and guess how much I made? $4.25 as a manager. Wow. So our budgeting was different. And even when I worked for Hewlett Packard, a lot of people said, "Man, you work for Hewlett Packard, man, you make good money." I made $6.35. I made $6.35 when I first started working for Hewlett Packard. And then when I worked for, where did I work at? I worked at Packard Bell. I made $7.75. Wow. I started going up the ladder. And then when I worked for Apple, I worked for Apple for 3.5 years as a technician. Okay? I wasn't a technician for these other positions. I was an assembler, and I was a tester. So I had to work my way up. I started off assembling and deassembling mainframes and things like that, taking apart computers and all that kind of stuff. And then I moved into working as a tester, where I started testing computers. And then I went from a tester to a technician. So a tester, I was $7.75. Assembler or deassembler, I was $6.35. And then I went to $10.50. Wow, I was making the big bucks then. So I was making the big bucks. It's 1997 by the time I'm at that level. Okay. So minimum wage, you talk about that. They want to increase minimum wage. People want to go up to $15 an hour. That'd be great. I think it's great. You know, cost of living with everything going up and the way things are, and price gouging, and people selling these stuff for too much. You know, I get these at thrift stores. I try to get them at thrift stores. I try to get them at yard sales or whatever. Not too many yard sales anymore because of Corona. But I try to get them wherever I can find them. Offer up. You heard for offer up, let go. Try to find these as cheap as possible. You know, if I get something like this for $15, I'm happy. So, you know, like I said, please, contribute. Donate if you can. And I can show you guys more of these interesting cameras. I have more. We're going to be showing more. I got to figure out how I'm going to do it. I don't have the space right now to kind of demonstrate and show you every camera. I think what I'm going to do is I got my sister's truck. I brought my sister's truck. I'm going to take it out somewhere, and then I'm going to take all the cameras in the back of the bed or something, and I'm going to show you the cameras one by one, and we're going to talk about them a little bit, kind of go by the year. I'm not going to go into all the specifications because I know that's boring to a lot of you. Some of you guys want to know more about that. There's other guys out on YouTube right now that are great. They've done some great, interesting videos talking about all the specifications and breaking it down. I've learned from them. Younger guys that didn't grow up in this era, but they're really interested in this technology and how it evolved. That's what I'm trying to say. So where is it evolving right now? How far is it going? 4K, 6K, 12K. There's cameras out there that are getting higher and higher as far as technology and specs and everything. But do you really need it? So that's what this video is all about. Do you really need it, or do you really want it? Or are you just like me? Are you just enjoying, and looking back at the past and go, wow, that's kind of cool. I wouldn't mind having one of those old cameras. But I don't want to pay arm and leg for it. I don't want to pay $500 for it. I don't want to pay $600 for it. I want to be able to get a camera like this for like $5 or $10, $15, whatever. And I'm happy. This is a good looking camera. And once again, it says on here, it says Canon 708 digital 8mm video camera and recorder. Whoa. I mean, this camera actually really looks nice. Oh, low battery. Okay, so we're going to end this video. My battery's getting low. I love you guys out there. Once again, peace and love. Don't hate, don't wait, don't procrastinate. Definitely donate. And this is the Retro Camera Office. And we're out.